Hello and welcome to Warcraft Daily for today, the 4th of October 2013. So in today's news, we have a new Hippogriff mount. We don't know where it comes from, and a whole bunch of blue chat. Pretty much this needs to be a little bit of a quick show because I've been moving about the place today and I'm kind of busy. Don't worry though, there'll still be the full day's worth of content on the channel. So first of all, it's probably just worth saying that there's been a bunch of hot fixes to fix numerous bugs. None of them I thought were of much significance though, so they're not going to be in the show. Now also they have added a new mount. Well, not added, more teased. This has been on the official Blizzard Facebook page, and it's pretty cool. It's a hippogriff. What I think is interesting about it is I really like this kind of like green, brown, gold, red kind of color scheme they're going with. I think the model quality itself, it's pretty high polygon as far as mounts go. I think especially the face looks great. Its head seems to have a lot of character to it. It's funny, it looks like, when you compare it to the Night Elf that's on top of it, it just really shows up how badly the old models need updated. So yeah, there's that. It's pretty cool. Of course, I do absolutely hope that this is available in-game and not a Blizzard store thing. I know the Blizzard are probably wanting to push more and more store items to increase the profitability of the game, but I still think that there should be special mounts like this inserted into the game to constantly give people something to work for. Especially when it's a more unique mount like this, because everyone has a Cloud Serpent, so perhaps getting a slightly different kind of black or gold Cloud Serpent, like what was added in patch 5.4, isn't as compelling to a lot of people as a really awesome Hippogriff. So yeah, hopefully this is the kind of thing that's rewarded via in-game things. Maybe in patch 5.5, who knows? Of course, this hasn't actually been added to the game yet, so there's nothing in the way of 3D models or anything like that I can give you, but as soon as they become available, expect to find them here. Now, in terms of other things, we have a whole bunch of blue tweets and posts and stuff like that, so let's get onto it. They said about Burden of Eternity rarity that they like how they're rare, and they also like how you may not always get a perfect 535, and actually, I think this is kind of bullshit from a game design perspective. So Burdens of Eternity, if you don't know, they upgrade 496 bits of timeless item caches to 535 gear, and the way this gear works is that it gives you random stats, so it's very possible to get a piece that's not very well itemized, that's not nice. Now that's fine, I think, for the armor caches, because you get those all the time, but for the actual Burdens of Eternity, well, think of it like this. They cost 50,000 timeless coins, and that is a lot of, no matter what way you're doing it, that's a lot of work to get. It's either that, or getting lucky. There's about 2 or 3 guaranteed ways you can get them, but past that, if you want to get multiple bits of timeless gear, it's not really, it's not really very compelling. It's a problem. I think that when somebody puts in a lot of work to get something like a Burden of Eternity, and then they get a very poorly itemized piece from it, it's a real bummer, and it just kills their motivation to go back and do it again. Now, I know for myself, I've used 3 Burdens of Eternity on my main character, just trying to get marginal upgrades, nothing big, so it didn't matter to me much, but none of the 3 of them were the optimal piece. Now, to a player who isn't doing normals or flex like I am, and they're just doing LFR, that kind of thing, which is totally cool, fair enough, you know, if you put in all that work to get a Burden of Eternity, you should bloody expect to get good gear. I think that what they should allow happen is that the timeless armor, like the caches, once you use them, you get a piece of gear, right? So you should be able to use the Burden of Eternity on the piece of gear that you get, not on the cache. That way you can guarantee that you use the Burden on a piece of gear that will actually be worth upgrading. I think that's the best way to do it. The current systems, it's silly, and it's just a broken reward structure that doesn't reward people's time and effort in a consistent manner, and that usually is the best way to do things. Unless it's something ultra special, but that said, core bits of gear, not ultra special. I don't agree with the way they did that, or their philosophy and the fact that they think that's a good thing. Now next, for Cross-Realm Zone LFG, they said that actually putting in a tool is something they'd like to do, but right now it's hard to fit it in with their priority lists and stuff like that. And also there are add-ons there, like OQ, which do a great job, and just like a PSA, if you are having realm issues, then one of the things you should do is get one of these add-ons, so if you're struggling to find a group with the Celestials or Ordos or something, you can just hop into the add-on, and that'll group with people in another server that are about to get a kill. That's the best way to do it. But yeah, it's weird, the whole like zone stuff and realm stuff. Hopefully things will be getting better with connected realms being rolled out. Of course they are being rolled out slowly, but I do think that's the best way to do it, so that it's a smooth transition, and that anything unique about any servers, they're sort of taken into account when that's all done. Now also they said that the raid browser was an early attempt at doing something like this, but it just didn't end up being as successful as they wanted. Honestly, I think that some sort of cross-realm raid kind of thing would be great. And I don't mean a queue because I think that would be awful, but something where you could sort of register yourself. I don't mean register yourself, but list yourself as being interested in doing a raid. You could say things, perhaps put in a little bit of a note about yourself so people know what kind of person they're getting, if you have voice comms or not, what role you are, so that people can actually put up information about themselves when they feel like, yeah, I could do a raid tonight. Or if you have maybe 5 people and you want 4 or 5, well, 5 more for a flex group, then you can go onto the Finder and see who's listed themselves as being interested. Now, this is the sort of thing that I would have across many realms. It probably isn't feasible to do it across all realms in a region. That could end up being very cluttered. But I think there needs to be a more robust way to pug instead of just spamming in trade chat. Of course, spamming in trade chat, it's good and it is nice to have that kind of server community, but it doesn't often translate to great gameplay in the way that it used to do in times of old. And I do completely understand how people are nostalgic about server community, and honestly, on our server, Shadowsong, there was definitely a lot of that back, especially in the Wrath of the Lich King days. But yeah, I guess it's a different game, and I do think that having some sort of tool to allow people to easily form pugs that are a little bit more structured, I think that's a great way to do it. And also, they mentioned that only the first 8 bosses of the Siege of Orgrimmar, that's not even a place, Orgrimmar, can drop the legendary items, and that the Sha of Pride is a 100% drop rate for said items. And that's really it for today's show. I think, yeah, you know what? I've made 6 minutes and 30 seconds of stuff out of pretty much nothing. I am proud. This is going well. But, yeah, that's really it. I'm using a new microphone on a different computer, so things might be a little bit wonky in terms of audio quality. I'll try to work that out, but that's really it for me. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.